Hello, I'm Caroline Simpson. I'm an engineering manager here at GitLab on the Verify pipeline execution team. And today I am here to share a POC I made for estimating issue weights and probably durations and using AI. I will share my screen and walk you through what I've done. So we will look at the steps of how this is completed. So first we load the closed issues. So I've loaded up a bunch of issues from past milestones. This is done with the GitLab Issues API. I filtered it for my team, particular milestones, and on closed issues only. I've also excluded any confidential issues at this point. The next step then is to take those issues and feed them into the Google Vertex AI model and generate text summaries for each of them. Once we do that, we can then create embeddings, which are representations of the text that is useful to a computer. So it's stored as a matrix of floating point numbers, which then can be used to do math and to compare different text blobs. So now we have a summary of each of our issues in text and as a numeric representation. So now additionally, so for all the closed issues, we have that. So now we want to load the issues that we actually want to estimate. So the ones that we haven't done yet. So again, we do the same thing basically as we did with the closed issues, but now I'm looking at a future milestone and only open issues. Again, filtering out confidential issues and only looking at opened issues. For this, we're also going to summarize the issues again and create those embeddings, which they're commented out in this code snippet, just because I had run it already and when I took the screenshot, so I didn't want to run it again. Yeah. The next thing we do is then we take all of those embeddings and we can load them into memory, and then we basically compare the ones that were the new ones that we're trying to estimate compared to the closed issues and finding similar issues. So we use a similarity matrix, and there's a built-in, well, the scikit-learn library has a function to do this. And so we use that math to go and find those similar things. In doing this at scale, you may want to use something like vector search and store all this in a database. It's currently, all the embeddings are stored in JSON files, so it's not very performant. Then the last step that we do is then we're going to calculate our estimates. So now that we have all these data, we found the similar issues, we can look through those issues and find all the MRs that it took to close those issues. The way I'm doing that is I'm using the related MRs, which isn't perfect. Sometimes MRs that aren't actually meant to close that issue are existing as linked MRs, and they're getting included in those summaries, but it's a starting point anyways. So what we do here is we're taking basically we start with the weights. We take the mean of the weights on the similar issues, and then to calculate the days, I'm taking the number of days that it took for an MR was open and finding the median of those. I used median instead of mean in this because there's some outliers for very long standing open MRs. So in order to kind of make it more reasonable, I took the median because it's a better representation. It doesn't get pulled by outliers nearly as much. And Then I also estimated how many MRs might be used by taking the mean of the number of MRs associated with each of those similar issues for a given issue. And then the final step then is to output that data. For now, I put it as a markdown file so that it can be used manually for my planning purposes. So it outputs the title of the MR, the link to it, what the weight has been manually set to if it's already been weighted by a team member. If there's any existing MRs attached to that issue already, I calculate the days, and this is done as a sum of any open days for that MR, and the number of MRs that are attached to it. Then, as I said, the estimated weight here is the mean of the weights of these related issues. This based on column is actually those related issues so that you can go and look at them and see if there's anything interesting in there. If you want to see if those are actually related and maybe there's something useful that way. And then this is again that median number of days for each of those related issues and the number of the mean number of MRs that it took to close those issues or that are related to those issues. Sorry. Yeah. And if you are interested in seeing the code in more detail, because I only had little snippets in here, it is available at, this is the merge request that I used to merge it into my little project that I have here. And this QR code will get you to that URL, save you some typing. Well, thank you for listening, and hopefully this is helpful. Thanks. Bye.